Hey, we had an awesome week. We managed to get the entire family together and we flew to Turkey. My eldest daughter was visiting Europe with her partner. So we thought that Turkey is close enough, far enough for all of us, so let's fly there. And we'd never been there before, so that was an interesting trip. We first spent a few days in Istanbul, and then we flew to Cappadocia in the middle of the country for the remaining days. Now this was not really a photography trip, it was a family trip, and the intention was to really spend time with family and have a good time. But I managed to take a few pictures, and I also managed to have my regular fights at the airport when I tried to get my films through the security without pushing them through the X-ray machine. Hand screening. Helsinki airport, as always, really easy, they know exactly what to do. Also, surprisingly, Cappadocia, even though it's a smaller airport, they knew exactly what I was talking about, took my films and didn't push them through the X-ray machine. But in Istanbul, there was no way I could have get them hand screened. Now, luckily, the Istanbul airport had those old-fashioned, boxy, stainless steel X-ray machines, which are more gracious and easy for your film than those new roundy plasticky ones that, to my understanding, are much more powerful. Now then afterwards, you know, even though they went twice through the Istanbul X-rays, I didn't see anything in the final films. And I mostly have slow film with me, so all is fine. I just love a good fight, and whenever I'm traveling just by myself, I try to push. You need to gauge the airport security personnel not to go too far with your pushing, but you know, sometimes I get lucky, sometimes not. As of my tools, I seem to be taking these two cameras with me whenever I'm on a family trip or you know, just basically as a tourist going to places. First of all, my LC-A 120 Lomo. This is probably the best tourist camera that I have found. It's a medium format camera, but it's fully automatic, other than it has this distant estimation crank. But other than that, it's fully automatic. First I didn't like it, but now I learned to love it. Because when you are traveling with friends or family, you don't always have time to be really accurate. So it's good that your camera helps you. f4.5, really wide angle 38mm lens, similar to Hasselblad wide camera, what is it called? Hasselblad super wide. But it has a huge vignetting, this one. I kind of like it. I add vignetting to my pictures anyway, so with this camera there's no need to add it. There's one problem though that it's good to remember. The film spacing, you know, the space between your frames on the film is not the most accurate. And in my camera, I can't advance the film as far as I should when I'm loading the film. It should go to the middle. I need to just, whenever I see the arrow emerging from the spool, I need to stop advancing it. Because if I advance it further, then the last picture will be only half. I mean, that might also be fun, but if that's not your intention. And it's because this is a very simple camera, so as the film starts to accumulate to the take-up spool of course gets thicker and thicker. And then the space between the frames starts to get larger and larger, eventually being too large to fit on the film. But you know, I managed to get 12 frames on the roll when I'm careful with this, and other than that it's a perfect camera. The other one that I seem to be taking with me on those kind of trips is my Rolleicord. I'm a Rolleiflex guy. I got a 2.8F Rolleiflex, which is a beautiful camera. It's probably the best camera I have, but it's a bit heavier, and this takes every bit as good pictures as my Rolleiflex. There's really no difference. So I seem to be taking this with me whenever space or weight is an issue. Once again, really enjoyed taking pictures with this. This is in an excellent condition. I believe that I'm the first owner of this camera. It has never been sold as a new camera. And then I was the first who put a film through it. A few years ago I found this. This is an awesome camera. So hey, first Istanbul. I was lucky. The first day it was raining, so it's raining in Istanbul. We headed out and I took pictures like this. Then we flew to Cappadocia. That's in the middle of the country, more countryside, really interesting rock formations, and we did a few really long and exhausting hikes, which I truly enjoyed, and I took a few pictures from Cappadocia. Now then, a few observations from my trip, other than it being a marvelous trip with the whole family. The massive development chart is a resource on the internet that lists all kind of black and white films and developers, and then recommends development times for different film developer combinations. Now, I don't know where they get that information, because, for example, Kentmere Harman doesn't give you Rodinal times. I don't know why they don't do that. But I'm a Rodinal guy, and now this massive development chart suggests that for Kentmere 100 with 150 mix of Rodinal, you should develop it 15 minutes. And it's far too long. You will overdevelop your film if you develop it 15 minutes. It's closer to 12. Now this proves that when you are using that massive development chart, it's good to test it and see what you like. I mean, 15 minutes didn't ruin my films, but it was simply too much. Now I know it. There was somebody else commenting the same thing. I don't know how you get comments and recommendations there, but if you know, you should totally help me and make it there, or help others using Rodinal and Kentmere to correct that 15 minutes. Doesn't make any sense. I also shot 2 rolls of Kentmere 100, pushing it to ASA 400. Now pushing, what does it mean? It means that you can pretend that you have a faster film than you have. So you put, this is an ASA 100 film, you put that into your camera and then you forget that it's ASA 100 and you say to yourself it's ASA 400. You measure the light as if you had ASA 400 film, and you photograph as if you had ASA 400 film. But then when you develop, you need to compensate that and overdevelop it. So you kind of underexpose, but then you overdevelop. So when I shot Kentmere 100 as ASA 400, I needed to develop it 25 minutes in that 150 Rodinal mix. That's quite a long time. But I like the results. I mean, you lose some of the details and some of your nuances when you push your film. 2 stops is quite an aggressive push. But that was already a night time, so I got the lights really bright, and it was raining, so I got the rain really nicely. So I like that. Now, of course, somebody asked me, why didn't I have ASA 400 film on me? Why do I need to push? And that's a fair question. It's all my fault. I had left all my ASA 400 films at the hotel. So this was my only option, so I decided to push it. Oh, then I shot a few rolls of FP4 Plus. This is the best film money can buy. Full stop. Kodak Portra 160, I shot 1 roll of that. It's becoming notoriously expensive, but it's a really nice film. But even more than those Portras, I like these Fuji color 400 or 160 professional films. Unfortunately, they don't make these anymore. So whenever I find a roll or two, I buy them. This has expired in 2004, so I needed to compensate that a bit, and I shot it as ASA 200, even though it's an ASA 400 film. And by the way, that rule of thumb that 1 stop per 10 years, it doesn't always work, because fast films go bad faster than slow films. But it's about right if you got an ASA 400 film. And then color positive film, you always shoot at box speed. They don't deteriorate the same way. Their colors start to shift, but you don't add exposure time. Hey, I don't take digital cameras with me anymore on those kind of trips, or actually on any trips. I ditched that altogether. I have a phone on me, but it's an old iPhone, and I don't take a lot of pictures with that either. When I'm taking pictures with my film cameras, each and every picture counts. I have much less pictures when I come home. I don't have thousands, I have maybe tens. And then the funny thing is that because I need to measure the light with this camera, I need to measure the light, I need to focus, I need to do all those kind of things. Each and every picture taking situation is an occasion. And I remember that. I remember the sounds and how my subject moved and how I tried to focus. So I not only get the photographs as a souvenir from those trips, but I also get more vivid memories of those photo sessions. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but to me it is so clear. I remember each and every of those photographs, the session, the situation I took them. And now that I develop them and I either print them or scan them, I can relive those moments again. That's the beauty of film photography. And maybe I should actually go even further and ditch color photography altogether. I take color photographs only on trips like that. And maybe even that is a bit too much. And the reason is that I really like black and white photography, and I think those pictures resonate with me more than color pictures. Now, don't take me wrong, I'm not suggesting that anybody would stop a digital photography and ditch their digital gear, or anybody would not shoot color images. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. This is not a recommendation to anybody, or this is not like against anything. It's just me, how I feel currently, that it's all about black and white film photography in a square format. That's my life. And to prove my point, let me show you now one picture. These are the ladies of my life in this picture. I took it on a black and white film with my Rolleicord, and I think this picture needs to be exactly the way it is. Hey, thanks for watching. Next time something else.